Alright, today's lesson is about finding the percent of a decimal, or a fraction, or even of a sentence. So what we're going to start off with is finding the percent if you're given a decimal. If you're given a decimal of 0.8, you simply multiply it by 100, which is exactly the same as moving the decimal over two decimal places. So 0.8, if you move it over two places, becomes 80%. It's that simple. 0.57, move the decimal over two places, it becomes 57%. Likewise, 0.515, which is three decimal places, you can just move it over two places, which is multiplying it by 100, 51.5%. So all of these is the exact same answer, 167%. 2%. Again, two decimal places, 240%, 30.2%, 99.9%, and finally 0.7%. Notice there are three decimal places where you can only move it over two to create a percentage. Percent is out of 100, which is basically why we multiply it by 100. The next thing is to take a fraction, which is 2/3 in this case, and create a decimal out of it by multiplying it, sorry, not multiplying it, by dividing the top number, 2 divided by 3. When you get your equal sign on your calculator, if you type in 2 divided by 3, and then hit equals, your answer will be 0.6 repeating. So 0.6 repeating, we already learned in the last page, if you've got a decimal, to easily make it as a percentage by simply moving the decimal over two places. So that would be 66.6 repeating percent. Or, if you were going to round it off, 66.7%. Or if you were going to make it to the nearest whole number, 67%. Depending on which decimal place you were going to round it to. Let's try the exact same thing with the next question. 4 divided by 5 equals, on your calculator, 0.8. And we all know that 0.8, moving it over two decimal places, is 80%. And finally, let's try 8 over 25. 8 over 25 equals 8 divided by 25 equals 0.32 in your calculator, which we all know is 32%. Alright, those are some of the easy ones. Let's try ones that are in sentences. 25 is what percent of 200? Anytime you see the word of, you know it's out of 200. So the 200 must be on the bottom. The 25 is going to be the top number of the fraction. Each of these is going to make a fraction. 25 out of 200. In your calculator, you take 25 and divide it by 200. And it comes up with a decimal of 0.125. And according to our very first page, we know that as a decimal, 0.125 is equal to 12.5%. Quite easy. The same thing works for all of these. Let's go down to number 5 here. What percent of 8.6, so we know that 8.6 is going to be on the bottom, because it's out of 8.6, is 5.9. So, we take 5.9, we divide it by 8.6, and we get a decimal with our calculator. Becomes 0.68604, etc., etc., etc. It keeps going. I know as a percentage, I'm gonna take that 2 places. It's gonna be 68.6%. And that's it for today's lesson. Pretty simple stuff.